Hey everybody, it's Eric from epautos.com, your Libertarian car guy. Out here early in the morning in the woods of Southwest Virginia doing a quick walk around of the 2016 Nissan Altima. I'm out here early because it looks like it's going to rain any minute, and I want to get this video done before it happens. We're looking at the new front clip, which is the major obvious change of the 16 versus the 15. There are a number of other changes as well. But it's got a much more dramatic looking front end. It kind of reminds me of a water dragon lizard. I think it looks good. I think it's an improvement over what they had previously, and I can tell you for sure that the new extra large boomerang headlights, that's what Nissan calls them, provide really excellent illumination at night. Let's see, some of the good things about this car. You can get both the 4-cylinder and a V6. One of the car's rivals is the Mazda 6, which I'm a big fan of, but the Mazda 6, you can only get a 4-cylinder engine in that. There is no optional upgrade. You can get a V6 in the Honda Accord, which is another potential rival, but Honda really jacks the price up significantly by about $3,000 relative to this car with the V6. This car with the V6, you can get it for a bit over $27,000, and the Honda is well into the 30s. To a lesser extent, that's also true of the Toyota Camry. The Camry, they did sex it up a bit last year, but it's still really not a sports sedan. It's still more of a family car, despite it looking a little more aggressive. So it's not really a direct competitor, and regardless, if you get the V6 in that car, it is also a lot more expensive, so there's that to consider. Something else to consider, this car has significantly, by far, more front seat legroom than either the Mazda 6 or the Accord. It's got about 45 inches of legroom up there, and it's also got about an inch and a half more legroom, which for a big tall geek like me is important. Also, the interior's been revised a little bit. Let me kick things to life here so that you can see. And oh, incidentally, one thing that I really like about Nissan is not just the Altima. Nissan is the only manufacturer that does not have the buckle up for safety belt minder. If you don't put your seatbelt on immediately, all that happens is that little light there in the dash lights up. It does not screech at you. They've revised the center stack. There's a new LCD monitor. This is the 5-inch. You can get a 7-inch monitor. And something that's cool about the app system here is that it's individually configurable for multiple drivers and passengers. So you can set it up for various people, and that's kind of neat. Also, you can get a heated steering wheel. There's the button for that right there, and that's pretty neat. The seat heaters work really well. I like these controls, which are again simple and straightforward. That's something that I appreciate. I'm not really a guy who likes the sort of flat screen haptic touch swipe stuff that's getting to be very popular in a lot of new cars, including fairly modestly priced cars like this car. Luckily, that does not have it. What else did I want to show you? Oh, one of the negatives, and it's not really a huge negative. Well, let's get back there and have a look. There is a price for everything, and one of the prices with this car is that it has a bit less backseat room than either the Honda Accord or the Mazda 6. However, that said, none of these cars are tight. I'm 6'3". I'm going to sit back here and show you. Now, I've got the front seat set up for me, and again, I'm 6'3", so the front seat here is not pushed forward for a short driver. And as you can see, here are my knees, here's the seat back. So there's no issue at all with legroom in this car, despite the fact that it has a couple inches less legroom than some of its rivals. Now, that said, the headroom is a little bit tight. This car has a sunroof, so that cuts down a little bit, but you can see the angle of the roof, and this is typical of almost all the sedans that are on the market now. Normally in the past, a sedan's line would have been about like that, and it would have been more squared off. So as you can see, as it tapers down here, it gets tight. And again, if you are a big tall geek like me, you'll find that the top of your head, you can see mine, kind of brushes up against the headliner. It's not a big deal. And if you're not, I'm 6'3", so if you're 6'2" or less, probably you're not going to have any issue at all with it. Let's see, the other thing that I should mention is that this car comes only with an automatic, and the automatic is a CVT, or continuously variable transmission. On the plus side, Nissan makes, in my opinion, the best CVTs on the market because they don't behave like CVTs. The engine doesn't sound like it's going to spit pistons out on the road as you accelerate. It's very smooth, no shift shock, and not a lot of noise. On the other hand, I really do like to drive a manual transmission. That's my personal preference, and that's one reason why I really like the Mazda 6, as well as the Honda Accord, at least the four-cylinder versions of those cars, which you can still get with a 6-speed manual. But again, that's a subjective thing. It's a personal preference thing, and a lot of the younger people today don't really care about shifting for themselves, so it's not an issue. Nissan's had no difficulty selling this car at all. Oh, and final point of order, I should mention, Nissan will probably not be happy if I don't. They have added to the roster of available trims a new SR package. People who know Nissans will know what I'm talking about. The SR trim is a sport package that's typically been available on cars like the Sentra, and now you can get it in the Altima, and it includes an 18-inch wheel and tire package with VR speed-rated tires. You also get firmer suspension calibrations and larger diameter front and rear stabilizer bars. Nissan says that reduces body roll by about 20%. The car handles very well, and it has a decent ride too. Some of the other cars in the class that are sporty are a little on the firm side, or they're a little on the squishy side, Camry. But I recommend taking a test drive because that's a really subjective thing. And as somebody who's been reviewing cars for 20 years, I can tell you that how a car feels to me may be entirely irrelevant as far as how a car feels to you. Final thing to mention that Nissan has that nobody else has, and it's not gimmicky. They have these zero-gravity seats, and that's their trade name for it, but they're designed to eliminate pinch points, fatigue points, and so on your back and your butt, and they really do work, and they really do feel great, and that may help enhance the feeling that the car really is both plush and doesn't have a lot of body roll and handles well. So anyway, I'm going to get back inside now before the skies open up. The full review is up at epautos.com. Also, a couple of my most recent appearances on radio, the Tom Woods Show in particular, and the Bill Meyer Show out in Oregon. And I got a piece about the latest hilarious news about Tesla, the electric car debacle, which I hope you go there and take a look at and let us know what you think. Anyway, thanks for viewing, and we will see you next time.